Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this classic episode of the Capital Conversations. We are bringing you this podcast because we want to actually make an impact in the trading and the financial service industry. This is not an interview. This is actually a conversation. On every episode that we are going to have on this podcast, it is going to be a strict conversation that we are going to bring you face to face live with your favorite traders across Ghana in Africa, with investing personnel and the financial market personnel as well. So we would like you to stay with us on this journey because our goal is to enlighten, Ghana and Africa, the population of this country and this continent as a whole, in the financial market space, so that all the illusions and all the misconceptions that people have about this industry, we're going to clear and correct them so that people will start walking on the right path. So like I said, on every episode that you're going to watch on this Capital Conversations podcast, it is never going to be an interview. It's going to be a real conversation between industry experts, between people who have actually been in the market to experience what is going on there, not people just posting on social media and just recording YouTube videos, proving to you that they are traders. These are people who have real experiences in the market. So stay tuned with us. We are going to bring you a lot of very exciting stuff on this podcast. And I believe at the end of the day, the impact that we are going to create and the awareness that we are going to create in the industry is going to be life-changing. Today, I have with me a very special guest, someone that I even didn't know till maybe last 3 days or something, that, I actually posted something on my IG stories that, traders should recommend the next person or the next trader that they would like me to bring on the podcast. And I had a lot of people mentioning this name that I hadn't even heard about this guy. So, I just thought at much that why are a lot of people mentioning this guy's name? So it was actually at around 3 a.m. that I woke up to a lot of messages on my social media about people mentioning this guy's name that, hey, we would like you to bring this guy on your podcast. We would like you to bring this guy on your podcast. And I said, okay, fine. So I woke up the next morning to check him out. And I found out that, this is a person who is actually making great progress in the financial market industry. And lo and behold, I reached out to him and he answered my call. So ladies and gentlemen, I will introduce to you my special guest on the show today, Kernelsticks, a very calm, cool and collected guy, and someone who I believe have enough experience in the market to today share with us on this episode. So, bro, welcome to the Capital Conversation podcast.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you to all your viewers. This is a very big opportunity for me, actually. Thank you, bro.
Well, yeah, we are glad to have you here today, and I believe you have a lot to share with our people, with our listeners as well. Like I keep saying, we are just here to make an impact. We are not here to give anybody financial advice. We are not here to give anybody investing advice. We are not here to take anybody's money to invest for him or her. We are here strictly to educate the public, to educate people in Ghana and across the African continent and across the world about what this financial market thing is about and how people can actually navigate their way through this space. So that is basically our job description on this podcast. So it's good to have you here. Tell us a little bit about yourself. First of all, yourself and how you came to discover the financial market.
All right. So thank you again for the opportunity. So my name is Kernel Raymonds, and a lot of people in the FOREX market and in the financial market know me as Kernelsticks. So I got that name because I used to be teaching this thing when I began. So we all know Kernelsticks, right? So Kernelsticks, because I've been teaching it, then they put my name there.
Kernelsticks, you don't know Kernelsticks in the market.
Right. So apparently I started this journey in 2020 when COVID hit us.
Oh, so that's just 4 years.
Yeah. That's good, about 4 years. So the whole of 2020, I was just going to learn what this is. Apparently, like you said, we're not here to give a financial advice or that. But somebody actually, somebody told my friend he could collect his money and invest and trade for him, blah blah blah. And then I personally handed my money over to them, and then it was all squash.
Oh, so you've actually been in a situation whereby you give your money to people online to trade for you, and it didn't amount to nothing.
Yeah.
So that's basically what motivated you to come learn how to trade.
Yeah. So I was like, if this has been able to take my money, then if I sit down and I learn it, then I can also make a lot of money from it. So I just used the whole of 2020 to sit down and learn.
Right. Well, I think we all live through experiences. I've actually never had this experience that you've had before, because when I started trading like 10 years ago, when I started trading, social media wasn't like this, where you see a lot of people parading themselves as traders and taking people's money and trading for them and all of that. Because at that time, a lot of these people on IG, on Facebook and whatever were not even online. So we didn't have the luxury of we having to go meet someone online and running a Telegram channel or running any group which we will join for us to hand over our money for someone to trade for us. So ours was the hard way, was the hardest way, you know. Yeah. So I actually didn't have the experience that you had, but like you said, there are a lot of people who have had these experiences, and they've actually made me aware, or we've heard stories of people collecting people's money to trade for them and all of that. And I think it was a profound experience that you had. So after that experience, and you started learning trading by yourself, what was your initial motivation behind the fact that you woke up and felt like you needed to learn how to trade? Like, how did you discover the financial market in the first place before you actually started handing over your money to these guys online? How did you discover financial market, and what made you think that this is a place or an industry that you can actually make money in?
Yeah, so a big shout out to my kid brother who is in the US of A. So he was in Legon reading actuarial science. So one day in class, he heard his lecturer professor talk about this, and then he came to tell me about it. But then back then I was into network marketing, and I didn't really put any effort into this.
Network marketing. Do you know those Max International?
I'm actually a top guru in Max International. Anybody who knows me back then,
I see. I've never liked network marketing anyway, but that's just by the way.
Yeah, right. So he just told me about it, and he was like, it's a very big industry. I think as at that time, the market cap was about $6.6 trillion. So I was like, damn, that's
the volume. That's the daily turnover.
Yeah, that's huge. And I was like, okay, so I mean, how do I get a piece of this? Because I mean, it's big. But then I got to realize that, like I said, I fell into the victim mood of people saying to trade for you and all that. So I lost a lot of money, and then I had to sit down by myself and learn. So 2021, that was when I started practicing what I've learned, seeing what's this and what's that. I paid for a lot of signal groups. I joined a lot of online social traders, trying to still find my feet until I met a strategy in about June 2021, and it was good. It was good, but it didn't suit me. It didn't suit my trading style. So those of you out there who know my trading style, I try to risk less for more. So what I learned didn't really put me in that space. So I had to go back to the drawing board, go back and put the pieces together again. So I actually used the whole of 2022 again to go back and learn, because 2021 I was getting some results, but it wasn't what I wanted. So I went back, learned, and then boom, I discovered something that is personally mine, and it's the 10 pips SL strategy.
Well, that result that you started in 2020, right?
Yeah.
During the COVID era.
Yeah.
And I can tell you from personal experience that results that you were having initially, that was in 2021, was just a welcome note by the market.
Exactly.
Because there's no proper results. There's no proper result that you can get from the market in 1 year. Yeah. And I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Because I've been there. I've actually experienced it in real time. Yeah. And I can attest to the fact that there is no single professional trader in the world who started making money or who started being consistent in 1 year, or even probably maybe even 1.5 or 2 years. Yeah. This is a consistency game. Yeah. This is something that you need to experience for yourself over a long period of time before you can actually get your feet. Okay, so that's an interesting story of how you discovered the market and how you got involved. So when you got involved in the market from 2020, 2021, this is your 4th year, right?
Yeah.
What has been your biggest lows and what have been your biggest highs in the market so far?
Yeah, this is a part I get a bit emotional about because like you said, you don't really see results in like the first year. So actually, after like first year, some profit, I felt like I was good. You know, I felt like I can now do this. Then I started going in bigger lot size, uh, um, bigger stop loss point. Sometimes the trade is wrong, and I just don't want to accept it. And I'm like, okay, let me open up my stop loss, open up my stop loss, open up my stop, and then by the time I say Jack, the whole account.
That's the rock heart mentality.
Yeah, crazy. Like, and I know every beginner and everybody who started this journey has pretty much gone through this because you don't want to feel like you're wrong.
Yeah.
And sometimes
you refuse to accept.
Yes, you refuse to accept the fact that this is a wrong trade, and then you just have a feeling that it will reverse. In tree, this is after right? And then you are there and it's not buying, it's not coming, you know. So my first investor account was a $5,000 account. I made a lot of money in like the first 2 months. Then afterwards I go before it.
So in the first 2 months, you were able to grow the 5,000 to how much?
Yeah, so I grew it to about 8,500.
Okay.
And then we reduced some of the profit, of course. And then so it was back to, and that's one other advice I give traders out there. If you want to be good, if you want to be consistent with this, when you are able to grow an account, take out the profit and start again from the beginning. It's something I learned deeply because when you are starting again, you will now be careful and go the same pace that you began with.
Right.
But when you are already in profit, when you are already a little bit above the starting, now you feel like you should do more. Meanwhile, your experience and then your lessons are not more, so it won't match up with the profit.
Yeah. So
you definitely have to come back, and then most people, I hear stories of people say I was able to raise $100 to 1,000 and then I blew it. I was able to raise
it happens 500 to this. It happens a lot. Yeah. It happens a lot.
And the whole thing about that is the fact that growth from that 100 to 1,000 is not the same thing that you're going to use when you have 1,000.
Yes.
Because you are
definitely going to increase your lot size and your risk size,
and then some way somehow you even forget your risk management because you feel like okay, I mean I can do this, you know, and then now you come back to
I understand perfectly what you're coming from and what you're talking about, and I believe that one thing that people don't understand in the market is that we don't eliminate risk in the market, we share risk, right? Risk is a shared commodity in the market that when you buy a stock or when you buy an asset in the market, you are actually taking part of or buying part of a risk that asset might go down, right? Yeah. The same thing that the seller who sold that asset to you still maintains that residual risk that even after selling that asset to you, there's also a possibility that the asset might go up, right? So we cannot totally eliminate risk from the market, but we can share it as buyers and sellers. And that's what most people don't understand. Yeah. When people go on long winning streaks or long winning runs, the reason why that mentality of them forgetting about their risk management setting is that when they get to that level, they forget about the notion of risk being a shared commodity in the market. Yeah. They think that, okay, because I have been able to go on this run, maybe he raised build $100 account to maybe $1,000 account. That is a lot. That is about a 900% growth, right? That we're talking about here. Yeah. And when you go to Wall Street and you grow a portfolio for a 900% portfolio, you are king of Wall Street, right? But now here we don't respect those metrics like that because we are trading small money, right? Because for you to grow a portfolio on a 900% basis, you need to send maybe a $1 billion account to maybe a $10 billion account. That's a lot of money, right? So I understand where you're coming from. That, you know, people tend to forget about, you know, their risk parameters and their risk metrics when their accounts start going up. Yes. So, okay, I think that's a good point there. So tell me about the lowest point that, the highest point. So you just talked about the lowest point. Yeah. So tell me about the highest point that made you feel ecstatic about the market, that made you feel over the moon, that made you feel or have that consciousness that, nobody comes close to you when it comes to trading, because we've all experienced that. We've all had that sort of adrenaline before at some point in the market. Yeah. So tell me about when you had that experience.
Yeah. So when I went back to the drawing board in 2022, and then I saw differences, and then I started doing something that suits me. I made a lot of profits. I was able to buy a car. I was able to complete my house.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Now. So that was when I got to the point. I felt like, okay, bring it on, baby, bring it on.
That was 2022, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Into
early 2023. Yeah. Oh, so what car were you able to buy?
It was a Honda Accord.
Oh, Accord. Oh, that was one of my favorite cars. One of my best cars.
One was the best saloon car for me.
Yeah. So that was when you felt like you are a Jim Simmons. That was when you felt like you were George Soros.
Yeah.
Well, I understand. We get to a point in the market that we get to that mood that we make some money in the market, and we feel like we are never going to go on a drawdown again, or we are never going to go on a losing streak again. Yeah. So I think that is normal. But this is also another thing that I want us to talk about. When did it click your mind that you've gotten to a place in the market that you need to go out there to start offering trading education to people, maybe probably selling signals, or probably gathering that sort of followership that you feel you're going to have an impact on all these people who want to venture into financial market?
Yeah, right. So this is where I think we connect a lot, because I actually heard about you. I was hearing your name, but I didn't see you anywhere. I mean, I didn't see you on the social medias and all. I'm like, who is this ghost? So I felt like I just wanted to live my life like that. But you see, when the results comes in and then the people get to see it, you definitely going to get people hit you up. Oh, bro, can you put me on? Can you help me out?
Absolutely.
Can you do this? Yeah. And so I felt like, okay, I mean, for every successful person, they have one way or the other impacted into people. I mean, every big guy out there, like Elon Musk and all, they've one way or the other provided services to people, and that's an impact, right? So I felt like, okay, now let me just try and just put out some free signals. So actually, I started doing free signals from 2021, free, and I did it for like 2 years up to 2023, where I felt like, okay, now the people have seen my works, and also, and then I'm getting busy. So if you want extra services, then probably let me just put out a signal group where you want to pay for a premium and then get more from me. I mean, from that.
Yeah, there are a lot of that out there. I know.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Where people are even copying signals from other groups to go and sell to other people. It's happening all over social media.
I actually have seen some like face to face before. Some people just take my signals and then they go out there and sell it. And just I think last 2 weeks or so, last week, one social media trader just says that people should send him trade ideas, trade signals, so he can put it in his community. And I was like, okay, you guys should just give him money so that he can go and get something from it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's something out there.
I think it's a canker that we need to confront in the trading space.
Yeah.
I personally don't get me wrong about this.
Yeah.
I personally don't entertain the idea of me selling signals.
Yeah.
Because it's not something that I believe in personally. And here is why. I believe in education, right?
Yeah.
I believe in educating people. I believe in impacting people, because if I want to help your life, if I want to help you become a trader, I don't think it's right, even though it's a business model. That is part of the trading job. That is part of you being a trader, because sometimes you just feel like, okay, you should just share your trades out there, and that is a value that you are giving out to people.
Yeah.
You need to get paid for it.
Yeah.
You understand? So I'm not against that, because we all have our ways and modes of doing business, right?
Yeah.
But it is my personal belief and personal principle that I think if you want to help people, I believe that if I want to help people, I need to strictly focus on educating that person instead of spoon feeding that person.
Yeah.
Because I believe that signal selling has actually done more harm in the trading industry than good. And here is why. Because there are a multitude of people out there on social media who started or who got to know about trading 5 years ago. But until now, they can't do their own analysis and they can't trade for themselves.
Yeah.
Why? Because they have been feeding on signals for the past 5 years. This is a 5 year period that these people could have just sat down, pay a mentor to learn the skills proper.
Yeah.
But because they have been feeding on these signals over the past 5 years, they feel like there's no need for them to actually learn the market by itself. And these are people calling themselves traders. You can't be a trader when you are buying people's signals and working with it.
Yeah.
I personally have bought signals before. When I started, I personally have bought signals before, but I don't have a single good experience about it. And I never had, right? Because I remember somewhere back in 2018, that was like 6 years ago. Back in 2018, there was this signal group that I joined on Telegram. Lord Pips, he was a US guy. This guy was a swing trader.
Yeah.
And he would be dropping signals, swing trading signals that has about 100 pip, 130 pip stop losses and about 500, 600 pip take profits, right? Yeah. And at that time, I was so naive in the market that, okay, I paid, and at that time, I even paid for a lifetime fee. I think that time, yes, I even paid for a lifetime. He had a lifetime subscription of about $1,000 something. And I paid for it because I just felt like, yo, this is a holy grail something. Yeah. So I paid for it. And this guy would drop the trade in the group. We would take the trade. And, you know, I was trading a smaller account. Well, let's say smaller accounts. Yeah. So I would place the trade, and from the time that I place the trade to maybe the next few hours or to maybe the close of the trading day, the market will be going against me. Yeah. And I will be emotionally driven enough to close the trade, to close out those trades, right? Because I felt that, okay, my account is going down. And at that time, I wasn't even measuring my risk because I thought I was copying trades from somebody who's a professional. So I was taking big risk. So let's say I have $1,000 account and I've put in one whole lot size on $1,000 account on gold. Yeah. Which is probably about 100 pips, and my account is gone. That's right. Yeah. So when the market goes against me, 30 pips, 40 pips, $400 out of $100, I want to safeguard the rest of the money. Right. So I need to close the trade. Yeah. So this is what happened. So I will close this trade. Then I will be there maybe the next day or the next 2 or 3 days. I will see this same guy dropping a screenshot of profit on the same trade in the group. Yeah. So I don't understand. I was like, this is the same signal that lost me money. Yeah. So how is this happening? Yeah. So until it was later that I came to realize that all these signal things are bullshit, right? Yeah. Because I don't know how this guy came about with the signal, right? Yeah. He did whatever analysis that he did to come out with that signal. And I bought into that. He has been able to hold on to that trade for 3 days, 4 days, or 5 days for the trade to get to take profit. Yeah. But here is me, I couldn't even hold on to that trade for a day because I got too emotional about it, because I couldn't control my mindset, because I couldn't control myself. I wasn't disciplined enough to follow it. Yeah. So I think, long story short, these are the main reasons why I don't like the idea of selling signals to people, because I believe that if I want to impact your life, if I want to impact people's life, I need to instill in them the discipline to come and learn the craft. I need to tell you that, hey, this is a lifetime craft that when you learn, it is going to really help your life. It is going to be a skill that is going to hold you down for the rest of your life, that nobody can take it away from you. But if I come out there to pitch a signal service to you, that, hey, you don't need to learn how to trade, you don't need to learn how to do this, I'm going to share my personal trades with you, I'm going to share my personal signals with you, you know, subconsciously, I'm turning you away from the educational aspect of the business. Right. And in every business, without education, you are not a businessman. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. So, like I said, I know it's part of the business model, but that is my personal belief that, you know, I think we should try, because it is a lot out there. There are a lot of signal, because you wouldn't see any mentor out there that is not offering a mentor, that is not offering a signal session. Yeah. And like I said, I'm not against that in any way. I'm not against that. But I'm actually, maybe if I'm going to tell these people to restructure this signal service, I'm going to tell them to maybe think more about educating the people instead of spoon feeding them. Yeah. Because if you spend 5 years buying signals alone, you're never going to be the trader that you want to be. No. Right? Yeah. So that's basically just by the way.
That's so true, because even me as a signal provider, there are some cons in it, because there are sometimes before I'm even done typing the signal, the price is already moved. And probably the people might get it like 10, 20 pips late. Even on my personal account, before I'm done, and then I go and check on mine, I'm pretty much late. So there's a whole lot of back and forth there. And then it's so true. I personally, like I said in the beginning, I didn't want to even get to do all of this. But you know, the people keep coming, and also somehow I just want to try now. But like you said, the education is key, and I'd advise that everybody would just try and learn from a good and a pro source. Then you can just do your thing.
Good. So I think we are on the same point with regards to the educational aspect of trading. We enlightening the people. We enlightening the people and all of that. So from your experience in the market, you have 4 years experience. I have 10 years of experience. That is some distance, right? So I would say that if I have students or if I have students that I'm mentoring somewhere, you probably might be one of them. But now you're doing good for yourself. You have your own community. You are doing, great things for your community. People know you out there. And I commend you for that, right? And so what advice would you give to, people who want to venture into financial market, people who want to learn how to trade, and, how they can steer themselves to the levels that you've been able to achieve within this shortest possible time in the market?
Yeah, right. So that's a very big one. And back to what you said, I would really advise everybody to get to learn first, because it's something about a lot of people I've met. They just want to start making waves. They just want to start making income. So they just want to have a quick access to the market. And that's pretty much why they buy signals and all of that, because some people don't just want to sit down and learn. So I would advise that if you want to get to know this and how to do it, learn. After you learn for a while, it took us like 2 years to learn and all, but it's not going to take you 2 years. Why? Because you're going to learn from a mentor, a pro mentor like us, and then it's going to cut your journey short. I can actually teach somebody in about a month, and the person can start making some moves. But it takes consistency and it takes self-discipline to be able to continue that. Or when you start making some profit right now, and then now you just forget about your risk management and everything, then you are just going back to the starting point.
Yeah. So I think you are very right with that. We live in a space where the level of unemployment that we have in the system is making a lot of people looking for avenues to make quick money. I might say to make quick money. People are not ready to devote time to learn, because we see a lot of people out there, people who are willing or people who were able to sustain themselves throughout 4 years of getting a degree in social sciences or psychology, are telling you that spending that same 3 years or 4 years to learn how to trade is a long time. So I think it's our mindset and mentality that we need to reframe, we need to restructure our thinking and how we see things. Because like I keep saying every day, nobody wakes up tomorrow to become a lawyer or to become a doctor or to become a pilot or become an engineer, right? You need to go through a process, because to go to a medical school to become a doctor, the minimum is 7 years, right? So I know a lot of traders out there, or I personally know traders who are making $10,000, $100,000 a month, but I don't know any doctor in the world who makes $100,000 a month, right? So if you are coming to learn a skill that will give you the freedom, you don't have to wake up, going to check people's temperature and going to do all these things before you start earning. I don't know why people should resort to, complaining about the time frame that it would take for them to learn. Because I've given a lot of advices to people. I've advised a lot of young traders, a lot of new traders in the market. And I'm one person who will tell you the truth, right? Because I don't need your money for anything. I make money for myself. I can make money for myself, right? If you pay me a $500 fee for mentorship, I can make that $500 within hours, within minutes in the market. So I'm that kind of person who is not really interested in the money. I'm interested in impacting people. I'm interested in impacting the person that I'm dealing with. So when I meet people, sometimes people tell me I'm straightforward. People tell me I'm harsh. People tell me I should take it easy on them. But, if whether I take it easy on you or not, it doesn't change the reality in any way. You understand? So I won't come and massage your ego for you to feel so comfortable in the space that, hey, this is something that I can easily do it and all of that. Because I will never tell you that you can do it easily. I can tell you can do it. Right? You can do it. It's simple, but it's not easy. It's very simple to do it, because learning how to trade is very simple. Learning how to make money in the financial market is very simple. Learning how to make money in business and in the real world is very simple, but it's never easy. It's very difficult. You're going to go through a lot, because I personally, when I started, I went through a lot of ups and downs. I went through a lot. It took me until my 4th year before I actually saw my first $100,000 in the market. And that's a lot of time, right? And 10 years down the line, here am I, right now. I've impacted a lot of people. I've spoken to people, I've mentored people that I don't even know, that I just met online and all of that. Yeah. So I think we need to get serious about this business, because this is a business that is a highly competitive business, because we are playing the same game with the largest financial institutions in the world and some of the smartest people in the world. So I think if I have any advice that I would give to new traders, in addition to what you said, or to top up what you said, I would just tell them to just, set some goals for themselves, just have a plan. And the focal point is to restructure your mindset about this whole thing. Right. Because if you come here with the mentality that you're going to get rich next week, you're going to get rich tomorrow, you're coming to play yourself. Yeah. You're playing yourself, basically. Yeah. Because it's never going to happen for you that way. Right. Because I know no single traders, and there have never been any single trader in history who made it in this market in 1 month or in 1 week or whatever. You need to go through the phases. You need to go through the process, right? So I think, that is a good perspective that you've provided for us. We are about to wrap up the conversation. And maybe we'll have a part 2 of this conversation. Exactly. And we'll have a more detailed questions to discuss or to talk about the financial market industry, how the social media frenzy, and how we can actually restructure people's minds, and try to enlighten people about the illusions that are being sold to them on social media and all this stuff. So thank you, my brother. Right. We'll definitely do, like I said, episode 2 of this conversation very shortly, and we'll dive deep into the trading journey, the trading methods and all these things that are basically the fundamentals of the business that we do. But for starters, this has really been an interesting conversation, a pleasure to have you on the conversation. And like I said, our goal is to bring together all the traders, all the top traders and educators from Ghana and across Africa to this show, for us to educate people, to enlighten people about the financial market industry, and about how people can navigate through this highly competitive space and make a living out of it. Right. This is just the beginning, and the sky is just the starting place for us. And I wish all of us all the best. With our communities, with the people that we are trying to impact privately, with whatever we are doing, and with how we are trying to navigate our way through the market. So we are going to definitely have a next session or a next episode of this conversation. Like I said, we'll dive deep into things to actually let people, or let novice people, know what this financial market thing is really about. So thank you, brother.
Before we go, a very key point, like you mentioned, if anybody out there is telling you to give his or her money to you to trade for them, that is wrong, and that is what shades the business as a scam. So the advice we would give to you is that
I think in the next episode we will touch about that as well.
Very, 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 very key.
It's very, very important. Yeah. Very, I think in the next episode we will touch about that.
Yeah.
So thank you, bro. And let's all have a blissful start to the week. We can see what gold is doing already in the market. All the setups and everything are in place. Yeah. Let's make some good money to start our week. And I hope to see you on the show very soon to talk about things much, much deeper than this today. Thank you, bro.